Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. Yet could it also be the keystone to unlocking many of the unknown mysteries? In this show, we'll be discussing all of the haunts, local legends, and unknown phenomena that have happened right here in our very own backyard. I'm your host, Matt Boyer, a senior investigator in the paranormal field.
And I'm Jacob Bacasa, a junior investigator.
And this is Unearthing the Unknown. Hey guys, and once again we are back.
Hey, howdy, hey, all you fine folks out there in Radio Land. Welcome back to another episode.
We're in the digital void again, as you say.
Oh, so you finally adopted to that? Huh?
No. I just thought I'd use it, but I haven't warmed up to it yet. As you give me a menacing
audio
look.
Listeners, we love you. Just to always say.
Yeah. So, really, we decided to take another break from all of the actual stories and everything just to kind of dive in. And just so this way we also can hopefully get through the whole book, along with still continue to tell stories for all you listeners by the end of the semester.
Of course.
Yeah. So...
Weather permitting, we should get back out to the field soon.
Yeah. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of the cold, so
You've mentioned.
Yeah, I'll live with it more than you.
Wait a minute.
I'll live with it more than you.
I was about to say.
Yeah, I live with it more than you.
You massive hypocrite.
You absolutely hate the cold.
I
can stand it, but it's
I don't hate the cold. I can bear it most days. I just started making a running gag of it because it was funny.
Okay, maybe to you. Anyhow, guys, so tonight we are going to get back into diving deep into what it means to be a paranormal investigator and some of the things that you should know if you ever decide to go off and do your own paranormal investigation. So tonight, we are actually going to be talking about the practical and sensible do's and don'ts of investigations. So, Jacob, just before we dive in, what do you think some of the do's and don'ts are?
Well, judging by what you said, no Ouija boards, no provoking. That might be it.
Okay, so the Ouija board, I have always been told not to use, though some groups do use it. It's more of a prerogative with that one. The other one, yeah, you don't want to tick off spirit.
Oh, I figured I mentioned those, but those are the only ones that really come to mind at the moment.
Yeah. Can you think of any do's? What should you do?
No, because I've never done this before.
Okay, well, hey, you know what? I was just thinking you could maybe wing it, try and give a guess or something.
Well, I should say I don't have any practical experience, so I had nothing to go on.
Yeah.
It'd be a total shot in the dark.
Yeah. Now, see, like for me, there are some things that I do either at the beginning or during or at the end of an investigation that has become more of the norm for investigators, but it's not like an official, this is something you should do, this is something that you shouldn't do.
The Matt Boyer survival guide for
paranormal investigating. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Anyhow, let's jump in if you're ready to do this.
I'm always ready.
Not always, but...
Well, with this I'm ready.
Yeah. All right. So, when you actually get to have an investigation going, you're going to go someplace, correct? I mean, if you have an investigation team, you got to go off and investigate someplace. Otherwise, what's the point?
No, I don't think to do that. No.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you would have never guessed that one.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm just going to say this. If you would have seen the mind blow that Jacob just had here in the radio station, it was phenomenal.
My brain is on the walls.
It was like one of the heads blowing up in the movie Kingsman there at the end. You've never seen that movie? Oh, such a great scene.
No.
I'll show it to you after. It's funny.
It's funny, he says.
You gotta know the movie.
I'm not gonna dwell on it.
Yeah. Anyhow, so the first thing that you really should do is, if you're going someplace to investigate, get permission. Mostly because...
Well, okay.
Yeah.
That one, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a very given
well,
kind of thing.
okay, now that you say
However,
that.
some people don't do it because, I mean, at one point or another, you are going to hear that some investigator decided that they were going to sneak into some place and, somehow they would get through and did an investigation or something. But really, if you and your investigative team are actually going to go off and do some, you need to have permission. And there's a few reasons for this. One, and the main one, the legal perspective. I mean, if you're on privately owned property or something like that, you're not just going to walk into somebody's house or walk onto their property without permission. You always need to have that. Even if you are at like a bed and breakfast or, any place like that, you really should get permission to do this. There are even some places that are known for their paranormal activity. For instance, a place called Lilydale, which is up in New York. It's pretty much where the spiritualist movement began.
Okay.
And
I've heard
told
of this.
yeah, I've told you about this
Yes,
place. Yeah,
that's how it's familiar.
Yeah. Ultimately, even with Lilydale, you just can't walk around and do an investigation. You have to get permission from kind of the people in charge there to do an investigation on the grounds. So, yeah, you want to have that. This way, you don't land yourself and your team in a jail cell. Yeah, and I'm just going to say this. I don't think that your parents would be pleased with your new hobby if you're getting a call from the police department.
Is that a quote from the book?
Actually, yes. It says, you can bet that your parents won't be pleased with your new hobby if they are getting a call from the local police department to come and bail you out of jail. I love this book just because it calls out this kind of stuff, and it's funny.
The writing is juicy.
Yeah. But also, it's from an ethical perspective on why you should ask permission, and it makes all paranormal groups look bad, even if one gets caught trespassing, because then, let's say, if another one comes back, then they're going to worry that, whoever the owner is, they're going to worry that, they're not going to ask permission or something. So it's really to help out not just you and your group, but the entire paranormal community. So it's also a big thing because of your own personal safety and the safety of your entire team. I mean, you could encounter so many dangerous things, and, should something happen, you want to make sure that you are good to go into that place rather than just trying to walk in and, God forbid a ceiling collapses on you or you fall through a floorboard or down a pit or something. I don't know. So, yeah, you want to make sure that no one's getting hurt. And, if that happens, the owners might be forced to, take action against you guys, let alone also maybe make sure that nobody else goes there. And when you do an investigation, you want to have it be done well, so this way maybe you guys can go back, or another group can come in at some point. So that's one of the big things. But then also, a lot of investigators will tell you it's not the ghosts that really we should be frightened. It's the people that would be giving us the lawsuit for breaking and entering. Because, So that's the big thing, is you don't really want to get into all that. Another big thing, just because who knows what our listener group is, this could be adults, this could be kids. Like I said, this book was originally given to me when I was a teen, so it's made for, it literally says a teen's guide for ghost hunting and the paranormal. So just one thing that it also says in here, and speaking of law enforcement, ... If your group has no adult membership, why not approach a cop and ask him or her to be a mentor for your group? Police officers are trained to notice things that we normal folks don't, and they may be helpful in an investigation. Now, see, like that, we don't have any cops in any of the groups I've been a part of. And really, not all police are the best when it comes to noticing things. Not going to name names. But, so get permission first. Another thing is to know your surroundings. So before you even begin an investigation, you should really, I know this is something that you do no matter what, wherever you go, you like to explore.
I do like to explore.
You do like to explore. You definitely want to explore the place, get to know the location, or have somebody with you that knows the area. So, for instance, when I was doing the Kane Manor investigation, I was pretty much the one that was telling everybody the layout of the place, kind of how to get from here to there or whatever, at first, just because no one had any idea where they were going. So, just because I knew the layout of the mansion and the grounds and everything. So, you really want to know that, just so this way, again, you can avoid any harmful things. And this is also like a crucial tool for ghost hunting, is write down anything and everything that could help, especially when it comes to like when you go into lockdown, because your investigations, you might have a few flashlights or something, but you do not have the lights on to a lot of the rooms. So you want to make sure, like, hey, if you go down this hallway, watch out for the chest that kind of sticks out there that you could run into and bang your leg on or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you really want to make sure you got all that kind of stuff. Yeah, this way, also later on when you are investigating, if, let's say, you know, you feel a cold breeze or hear a mysterious voice coming from somewhere, you can kind of go through your notes and be like, oh, is this a vent? Like how it was for me with Kane Manor. Is that a vent that's moving the, what were they? Blinds? Yeah, the curtains, the blinds. Or is this actual paranormal? Could that actually be some ghosty voice that you're hearing, or is it a squeaky floorboard? So you really want to know that kind of stuff. Let's see. I'm just skimming this here while we are... Oh, so another thing here. It says, this is really good to help you remove any false positives, which are things that may appear to be paranormal at first glance, but really aren't. When you're doing your dry run, this is a great time to get a base level readings with your equipment too. Test for high levels of electromagnetic readings so that you can track the source while the location is well lit. Also, note the average temperature in the rooms in case you run across any drastic changes during the investigation later. So, you really don't want to limit your investigation walkthrough. That's a huge thing that you always want to do. Unless you are somebody who I've worked with before that decided to try and freak me out by turning down my thermostat in my room. So when I went back in there, instead of the nice warm feeling it should have been because it was January and we were in a blizzard, I'm freezing my butt off and I'm thinking there's all this paranormal stuff. Until I look over and I see that this certain person who shall remain nameless had turned my thermostat all the way down into the 40s. Yeah, and it was supposed to be in the mid-70s in my room. I was cold. Anyhow, so yeah, really take that time for the dry walkthrough during the day or before you guys actually go into your first investigation to just get to know everything, whether it's inside a house or if you're outside somewhere. And definitely ask questions of whether that's the owner or neighbors or anybody who might know the area. Definitely try and figure that out because that will also help with your insights into wherever you are doing the investigation at. Another thing that you might want to do is set up a video camera to focus on the outside. So, you know, if the neighbors have like a motion sensor light that's, you know, high sensitivity and they're going to let their dog out at night, you know, you can then, you might see lights going on and off, but not likely to be ghosts that are walking through and setting off those that you would get there. So, like I said, just know ahead of time and make sure that everyone on your team also carries a powerful flashlight and fresh batteries. That's a big thing. And I'll bring back up the idea of the flashlight again when it comes to equipment because flashlights are a great tool just to have while walking through a dark space, but also because they can be used as a tool for communication with spirit. We can make spirit turn the light on and off. Like, let's say...
I've seen that.
I think I told you about this. If you get, like, one of the little flashlights that runs on, like, AA batteries, if you just turn it on just enough...
I've seen that on BuzzFeed Unsolved, of all things.
Yeah. But ultimately, why they say do have a flashlight on you is just in case, you know, let's say you scouted whatever the location is during the day. Let's say that you're outside. They could look different at night. So you'd want to have that just to make sure that you can check things out. Or let's say that you were out there in the morning or early afternoon and there's high winds and next you know a tree falls where the tree was standing. So you want to make sure at night you can still be able to see everything. So, yeah. Next big thing. do have an investigation partner. Never. And I cannot stress this enough, especially because I have known better since that first investigation with me in the bar by myself. Have an investigation partner. Never investigate alone. Your team can be just 2 people.
And now I disappear from the show forever.
Oh, yeah, right. Get back here.
What?
Get back here. You ain't going anywhere. Anyhow, so, yeah, safety concern.
There. Sorry.
Huh?
I was going to try to do a bit where I just stayed silent and just was like, you're just talking to no one.
No. You are on the far end of this radio station. I'm the one closer to the door. You ain't getting past me without me knowing it. He's trapped. He shall never leave. That's what I got told. Anyhow, getting back to this. Yeah, it's just safety should always be your number one thing. You don't ever want to go out and about doing something because if you get injured or harmed or, anything like that, there's someone there to help you and make sure that you don't die or anything. You could be out in the woods doing some paranormal investigation of, maybe an old landmark or something, and if you get mauled by a bear, let's just say that there happens to be a bear there, who's gonna know?
Mm-hmm.
So you always want to have somebody kind of with you. And then it's also not a bad thing to also have a third person not part of your team, or at least just not there with you. Just say, hey, this is where I'm at. So should anything happen, somebody at least knows outside of, let's say that you and your partner both go out there and you both get mauled by a bear. At least someone knows where you're at. I don't know why I keep going back to the mauled by a bear.
Frankly, when the biggest thing, if we're not going to be in that many woods, are we? Unless we do Blue
We
Horse
live
Patrol.
in Pennsylvania. It's all woods, except for Pittsburgh and Philly.
Yeah, but when have you ever seen a bear in your life?
So for me, I've actually seen them a number of times.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm up there in the national forest, so I see them all the time.
Well, looky you. Continue.
Yeah. We even used to go searching for bears down at the dump, like the trash dump.
I'm not going to elaborate.
It was just a fun thing to do on the weekends,
Search for bears in the dump. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's not like we were actually driving through the landfill. We were driving around it.
Precursor for you hunting ghosts.
No, not really. It's just a fun thing to do up there. Get some ice cream, drive around in your car on some back roads near the landfill, see if you see some bears.
That was a joke.
Yeah, whatever. So, yeah, have somebody with you. Validation is another key reason for having a partner, is that if you experience something, you have somebody who can back you up.
I was about to say, what do you mean by validation?
Yeah, just somebody who a witness, pretty much.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So a partner or team also keeps you in check and is there to help you out when you might have a moment of panic. So again, kind of referring back to the story of Kane Manor, when I heard my grandma's voice and all that stuff was going on, having the team there to first just be like, hey, no, you're good, we're not going to let this happen, but you're done with your investigation. And then just for some of them to kind of stay up with me and just chill, because they still worried that even if I did go to bed, something could happen. So, having people there just to be there for you is always a good thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And if you've got somebody with you, it'll really keep you anchored down to not believing in every little thing. So they might be like you and me.
See back to the skepticism episode we did.
Yeah, so for me, like some of the investigators at Kane, they were going off and making all these weird assumptions, and I had to keep them in check. Just be like, no. Just no. Nah. You're wrong.
You're stupid.
Well, I'll give an example. When and I think that I brought this up before, the nursery in the house where the kids lived, that was their bedroom. Oh,
yeah. See back to skepticism.
Yeah, I think that was skepticism. Yeah, we're literally, maybe people came in here and they came all the way up here and had birth. No, they would have gone to the freaking hospital.
Nah.
So, yeah. One other thing that I should just mention going back here, is that we were kind of talking earlier is like the idea of panicking or something, and how your team or your partner can help you with that. I just want to say that if that does set in, get out. You know, it's okay.
Run!
Well, no.
Run, Forrest, run!
No. You don't do that out of fear. I mean, sometimes yes, but not.
Brother, it's
I know,
it's a
but
joke.
You are not
It's
making.
funny.
You're not making good jokes.
Man, you're really trying to kick me off of this show. You're just really. You're,
No, they're
you're
just
trying to
not
drive a wedge
funny.
Between.
They're not funny.
What if you prove him wrong, please? I need validation.
Okay, no, see, that was a good one.
I don't know. I can't. Everybody's a critic. I'm out of here. I'm gone. See ya.
Nope. But ultimately, getting back with this, should panic or worriment or something like that set in, yeah, remove yourself. Whether that's for your own safety or, I mean, another thing could just be, if you need to take a moment, yeah, you aren't stuck there. You can leave. Just go take a breather, you know, get out of the situations that could be like mass hysteria for you. And if there's one thing that is worse than having one person just like freaking out and everything in the group, it's having the whole group freaked out and everything because they're now worried about you. The other thing is you panicking or anything can jeopardize the investigation. So it's always a very good thing to just try and stay calm, relax. But should something go wrong, yeah, get out. Whether that is ending the investigation entirely or just saying, okay, you know, we're going to come back to this in a little bit. Another thing, which I know that the great Dan Clace, you just tapped your mic and muted yourself, by the way.
I know.
There you go.
So,
okay.
so I don't give background noise. What you're saying? You're explaining things.
Got it. The great Dan Clace would say that I'm a hypocrite with this one, but he's wrong. And it's wear comfortable clothing. You always want to wear comfortable clothing. Now, where Dan...
Well, luckily for me, I'm comfortable most in my jeans.
Yeah, same. See, with Dan, he made the joke. If you find his video on YouTube, I think I showed it to you, he makes a joke when we're down in the bar. Actually, it may have been that, yeah, it was night 2, where he says to Spirit, does anyone want to join Matt's team? You have to wear a suit. And I kind of like push him out of the way, like, get out of here.
You have not shown me this, but
I thought I did.
We're going to pivot.
Yeah. Ultimately, he's making the joke there, or he would be saying that wouldn't be comfortable. Really, I was comfortable. All it was me in a pair of jeans. And yes, I had the suit jacket on, the coat jacket, like
Your
what
standard issue suit jacket that you got at birth.
No.
Really? Because many would say otherwise, potentially.
Do you want to get hit with this book? Are you trying for that again?
Look, I already have plenty of reasons to walk out on me or walk out on you. Give me another. Give me another. I dare you. I dare you.
Whatever. No, so the jacket that I wear is because it allows me a lot of free hand. It gives me a lot of pockets. So just having that is comfortable for me. But that could be you guys just wearing a t-shirt and shorts and sneakers. You know, let's say if you're out in the woods and you are doing something, yeah, wear comfortable and good shoes. Don't be wearing high heels or, you know, anything like that. You want to be able to run, should you need to, from getting mauled by a bear. I'm kidding. Yeah.
There he goes with the bear.
It's I don't know.
I was about to say innuendo for, like, no reason. That's the first, like, no, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Now, see, as the book here says, you may want to look great when you go out on a ghost hunt, especially if there are cute girls and or guys involved. But take our word for it, the spirits won't be impressed.
And here I was about to make the joke that, oh, you might impress a spirit. And this is going to turn into like a dating sim or something.
Also, just keep your mic on. Don't keep muting yourself.
Yeah, whatever.
Just keep it on. It's easier for everything. Yeah, glamming up and dressing up, okay, no one cares. Be comfortable, be able to relax and everything. This isn't, a big show kind of thing. Another thing is stay hydrated, fed, and rested. So you want to...
Well, rested makes sense, so it's not like you're seeing things.
Yeah. And you might be, ultimately, no matter what, with an investigation, you might be going all day long. So with me and past investigations I've done, we've gone to a usually it's been like a 2-day, 3-day kind of thing, 2-night, where you get there on night 1, you kind of move in, get everything set up, have dinner, whether that's going someplace or eating wherever you're at. It all depends, again, where you're at. And just kind of relaxing a little bit. Then the investigation would start later that evening. Okay, investigation ends, let's say 3:30 in the morning. Get some sleep, wake up around 9, and then from 9 or so, it was go, go, go throughout the day, where you might do a few small investigations during the day, but nighttime is always the best part. So we would do kind of some smaller locations during the day, but also that's time for people to go explore. So let's say, again, going with me, talking Kane 1 here, we allowed people just some time to go and explore the main drag of town, or, to do whatever, grab a nap, watch some TV, anything like that. So you want to make sure that you do have some downtime there, just some free time to relax, enjoy. You definitely want to make sure that you got a full stomach. You don't want to...
Grumbles.
Yeah. Well, and exactly, that's actually one of the things. And I don't know if it... let me see if it says it in here.
That you get the grumbles? That word...
Funny enough, it says that hunger and fatigue can cause stomach pains and growls, headaches, and dizziness, which are also attributed to paranormal activity, which they can be. So, having a pain or dizziness or a headache or something, those are contributed. Yeah,
I was gonna say,
stomach growl, no.
But stomach pain, like the ghost just gets in and it's like, I'm gonna tighten your stomach on you. I'm gonna tighten your small intestine and it's gonna hurt.
Well, they can inflict pain on you should they want to.
Well, I know that,
yeah.
But I know.
But ultimately, the stomach growl. I think more so that if you hear your stomach growling, that could be like, oh, ghost. Oh wait, no, it's just Fred over here who's hungry. So you want to have that. Be hydrated, and again, during the investigations, you don't have to be going non-stop throughout the night. Paranormal investigators will take breaks where they're not doing a session with spirit. You guys could still be there, but take a coffee break. Or, go... We did, one night, we did a coffee and donut break for an hour and a half, where we just hung out, had donuts, drank some coffee, sat by the fire and just enjoyed it. Talked with people about other things. We didn't even care at that time about what was going on with paranormal. We'll get back into that once the break was over. So definitely having that kind of stuff going on. And again, as it says here in the books, many times there have been reports of, I went into this room and I got this buzzing headache, or I got sick to my stomach and felt woozy. And maybe there's no paranormal activity at all, but the fact that you haven't eaten, slept well, or had a drink of water can point to your symptoms. You can avoid false positives by following these simple suggestions. Make sure that you have water with you or something, because I know not everybody's going to have water. In fact, Dave Haney, who I've worked with from Keystone Paranormal, he has been known for his monsters. Just have a monster with them. Or keep a 4-pack of the monsters on a table somewhere to just go back and have a sip of one later on. But yeah, have some with you for a drink. Get a nap if you can before the investigation. You really just need 20 minutes or so. Not even falling asleep, because there have been times where I might just be lying down, but I'm not falling asleep. But just being able to close your eyes, just kind of tune everything out, relax, clear your head, because clearing your head is a big thing when it comes to investigations that we'll get here in a little bit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, have a few snacks maybe with you too.
Speaking of sleepy,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Do you got snacks too? Do you got a snack in your pocket?
I wish I might have to go to the shack after this.
Yeah, tell me about it. Oh yeah, there will be time. So yeah, have some snacks with you to keep off the hunger, and avoid eating a heavy meal right before an investigation. So, like what we've done is, okay, let's say that we have dinner around 5:30. We then give it a good couple hours till the investigation will actually start. Like we won't start until maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, sometimes even later. So you don't want to overeat, you don't want to undereat, just enough to kind of keep you going for that little bit of time. Here's a big thing for you, another obvious one. Make sure your equipment works. And
what?
Yeah, make sure it works and make sure that you know how it works. Do you know how the equipment works? No, you don't, because we still got that chapter to come through.
Barely.
Yeah, I know. So you want to make sure that everything is working right. If you're working with something that has batteries, change out, put brand new batteries in right before you begin the investigation. And if it's a weekend investigation, I'm not saying that you have to change them out each day. Just change them out at the beginning. Just because you don't want a walkie-talkie or a flashlight to go dead on you, and then you think that it's paranormal or something, but you just haven't charged the batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, as we'll show at some point, us working with Phasmabox, we want to make sure that Phasma's actually working, and I know how it works, rather than trying to figure it out, and let's say everything just goes to hell. So, yeah, you also want to make sure audio recorders, I've told you about this before, are good, they're working, you can hear everything, and, you know, this way you can get those whisper tones, or making sure that your microphones are working, and they're not overly sensitive, but they're not, you know, not working or something. Video camera, you know, battery again, make sure that it can record. Make sure that it is saving. So anything that you are using that is going to document this, a phone, a video camera, audio recorder, you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, film or audio or both, that they are going to save. So this way you can go back and look at your footage or run through your audio to check for anything there. Night vision, infrared lights, you know, make sure those are working. If you do have video cameras, but not like just one that you're walking around with, but rather, you know, ones that you have set up to look for stuff. So maybe you just have, like I was talking about the cameras that we had in the manor, just set up throughout the building to see if we saw anything happen. And there were actually a few things, like some orbs and stuff. You want to make sure that you're catching that. Make sure that it's all hooked up to the TV so you can watch it from the nerve center while also saving that footage. So, that kind of stuff. Just make sure that it all works. And, again, yeah, understanding your equipment can be the most important step in investigating. So the other big thing that I should have mentioned is if you're going to buy, and really you should talk with somebody who is in the investigation, like is a paranormal investigator for a while, because they can tell you where they would trust for you to go off and get some of your equipment. You don't want to be going off and buying this crap off of Amazon or eBay because you can't trust it. So you want to make sure that...
I didn't know there were ghost retailers.
Yeah, actually there are. Because I have seen paranormal equipment for sale on eBay and Amazon. So you don't know who they're coming from. You don't know if they're going to work or not, especially if it's coming off eBay. Because sometimes the description is very murky when it comes to that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure that when you're making a purchase of something, you're not going to embarrass yourself in front of your entire group, showing like, oh yeah, I got all this stuff. Oh wait, it's not working. Or, oh, it's missing this piece or that.
Whoops.
Yeah. And again, going back with this as well, as I kind of said, make sure to have extra batteries for everything. Make sure that you are set and ready to go. So if, let's say that you forget to make sure that something didn't have a charged battery or something, you can switch it out real quick. Have a charger on. Like, portable chargers are another big thing, especially as we get more into technology. So having a portable charger to plug your phone into or something else. That is always a huge help. This is a big thing. Don't drink alcohol or take drugs on an investigation. I mean, it's you're looking at me, and yeah, it's common sense.
Well, I guess I can't bring my stash of cocaine that I always carry. A staple.
He's kidding, by the way, about that.
Staple of a person. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
They can't even hide
Yeah.
that.
So, again, because this was made for teens, it says in here, why, again, it's where common sense comes into play. First off, it's illegal. Now, you and I are both over the age of 21, so we could. But even adults, you don't drink when you're on an investigation. You do not drink before you start a session. So let's say if you do a weekend-long investigation, but you guys aren't investigating, at dinner, don't be getting a beer. Don't be getting a mixed drink. No alcohol, no drugs. Yeah. No pot, no nothing, because you want to be able to stay very clear and coherent. You don't want to be tasting colors and seeing sounds or anything. I don't know.
I got nothing to say. That's a statement in and of itself.
See, there's just a video that I know that where a guy goes, I can see sounds, I can hear colors. I'm not going to say what the third thing was, just because I don't think I can on radio, but it's funny.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll play it for you later with a few other things that I already have to show you. So, yeah, you don't want to be doing anything like that. Legal aside, again, yeah, you want to stay sharp with everything. You don't want to be doing an investigation and, hey, there's Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Nope. Yeah. Another big thing, and this is going back to the comfy clothing, why they have this as a separate one. I mean, if I'm being honest, a lot of these could have just been morphed into so many simple ones.
I was going to say, I feel like
I keep kind of bouncing back. Yeah.
You're treading ground
well,
that
and
we've
see,
already gone through.
They have a lot of them here where it's in dark print where it's like, do wear this, don't wear this, do this, don't do that. But these can really be put into more simpler terms. It says right here, don't wear reflective or glow-in-the-dark clothing. Well, yeah. Just because for your lights and stuff, you don't want something shining off of you and you getting a false light kind of thing that could be an orb. Or let's say another investigator's looking for something, they see down the hallway something reflective and it's your shirt or your shoes or something, they're going to think that it's something with spirit. No. No glow-in-the-dark, no reflective stuff. You want to stay plain, and you don't have to wear dark colors, but you want to have kind of like medium to dark. You don't want to really be wearing bright colors either, like no hot pink or neon green. You don't really want to be wearing those. So
never mind.
Yeah, stick with kind of like your dark colors, your blues, your grays, your blacks. White is kind of iffy.
Well, I gotta ditch my khakis, so there goes my look.
Khakis can be okay.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, khakis can be okay. Red, dark red, kind of like a maroon or something.
Oh, gotta get rid of my beanie.
The beanie's fine.
I know, I'm kidding.
Or, we'll switch it for the green one. Yeah. Another thing it says here, again, really could have gone under the comfy clothing, is don't wear shiny jewelry, watches, dangly earrings, necklaces, pins, brooches, or decorative rings. Again, spirit does not give a crap about what you got on your person.
They don't care about your bling.
Yeah, the other reasoning behind this is like infrared or night vision light reflect and refract like crazy. So if you got some kind of shiny stuff on you, yeah, not a good thing. So instead of ghostly,
I know a crab who would like you though.
Huh?
I know a crab who would like you though.
Let me just. I should start tallying how many jokes just are a flop for you. Anyhow,
I should tally all the times
instead of ghosts or paranormal apparitions that you might be seeing, you're going to be seeing the reflections off of your jewelry or something. So leave everything at home. And also, you don't want that stuff making noise, because again, that could be a false positive of something. Another thing here, you don't want to be wearing shoes with hard soles or heels. So no heels, no cowboy boots, nothing that's going to make a lot of noise as you walk. So sneakers are good, or tennis shoes. I know that I've had maybe like a pair of dress shoes or something on, but I make sure that they're not going to make any noise.
Well, sneakers, it's in the name.
Yeah, true. It is in the name. But just having something like that. You don't want to be wearing boots that are going to make noise, or heels or anything like that. Nope. No stuff like that. Another big thing, no cologne or perfume. One, because half the time it's going to make your other investigators sick, probably. Two, you don't want the false positive of smelling something and thinking, ooh, is this paranormal? You know, is this a weird thing come from them? Oh, no, it's just Becky's perfume or whatever. So you really, you don't even want to be using like smelly shampoo or conditioner or body wash. Just regular soap, regular conditioner, and all that stuff. No, it's like when you go out for deer hunting. You don't want there to be a scent. So you really just want to get all that all away. The other thing, now this is kind of debatable because it depends on what you're using it for, and as we get more into the technological world with paranormal, this has kind of been faded out. If you have your cell phone on you, some people say don't. Some people will use their cell phone because there's certain things that you can like put in through a chip or plug into your phone to use your phone for an investigative tool. But the main thing is turn your ringer off, put it on silent.
What is this, the movie theater?
Yeah, kind of. You don't want to be in the middle of an investigation and your phone goes off because grandma's calling you. No. So leave it there. The other issue is some phones, and this is kind of going back with a few other things and some things that we'll talk about when we get more into the equipment, is you don't want for some of your other equipment to be interfered by that. So K2 meters can be interfered by phones. This is also going back to kind of like know your surroundings. If you're walking around with a K2 meter or something like that, you don't want to be, you know, having it picking up some kind of electromagnetic source, like a TV or something. You want it to pick up the paranormal. So phones, you got to know how to use them. But if you're not going to use it for any kind of investigation tool, yeah. Either leave it in your room, don't bring it, leave it in the car, do something like that. And if you have to have it on you, yeah, turn it off, put it on airplane mode, do whatever you need to, just so this way you're not getting a bunch of Snapchats and things like that from people. You want to only use it for that one sole purpose as a tool, if that's what you're doing. The other thing is, and this is a big one, don't rely solely on your equipment, divination tools, or the word of a sensitive. So what this really means is they're all effective methods of gathering evidence and putting on an investigation. But the issue is many investigators don't look past the 2x3 inch of a video screen. So like the set of rods or the word of sensitive, really, like technology is great, but get your information from as many sources as possible. Don't rely on just what one medium or sensitive says. Don't rely completely on the dowsing rods. Don't rely completely on your technology. Get it from two or more, really. That's kind of where we're at. Personal accounts can be extremely effective. Having a videographer can come to the location where things have happened to try and document this stuff. Just having all that, and also, as we said, get other evidence from other people. You know, talk to the owners of a place.
Cross-reference.
Yeah, just so this way you can build your
repertoire.
Well, no, not your repertoire, but
arsenal.
No, you can then build up all your evidence and information to put into your final report.
Oh.
So that's one thing. Now, relying too much on subjective accounts is also to be avoided as well, because teams that employ a sensitive will end up following the individual around, hanging on their every word. So, and not always is it going to be a sensitive, but sometimes it could be, maybe the owner or maybe a family member that you've brought in to try and help as like a trigger object to work with paranormal. But you're ultimately going to follow them around like, hey, are you feeling anything? Oh, did you hear your great-granddaddy's voice again? Or, oh, what are you seeing? No. You don't want to be doing that, because even the most accurate of sensitives and mediums are not right all the time. And they're exciting, and their stories and stuff that they can tell us while communicating with spirit are interesting, but we can't expect ourselves to rely solely on their skills, and should be looked at as nothing more than one tool that we should have in our arsenal. So having more than just one piece of equipment, having REM pods, Mr. D, having Phasma Box, Ghost Box, having SLS, having an arsenal of different pieces of equipment. I don't rely completely on my K2. I don't rely solely on that of a sensitive or a medium, or dowsing rods or anything like that. It's got to be a collection of everything. Now, here's the last thing, and I waited to give you the last big one. And yes, you were right. Don't use Ouija boards, automatic writing, or energy transference during an investigation. So this is a big thing. Ouija boards and some of the other things that I've talked about, like the automatic writing or energy transference, those kinds of tools, they not good. Just because the use of these tools and allowing or inviting spirits to use you as a conduit can be very risky and dangerous at times. There are different mediums and sensitives out there with years and years of experience who will say that they are not going to allow spirits of any kind to control them. So unless you really understand and you know how to protect yourself physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, don't use them. And allowing spirits to manipulate you by any means is opening a door to that world. So that's where the negative things can come in. And they can attach themselves to you or to another member of the team. They can come in through that door that you've just opened and cause havoc on the place. You don't know what you're getting into. So you really want to make sure that you are staying safe. And that's a big thing on why I say no Ouija boards, because you are allowing spirit to kind of take over you guys, to guide you. And then the Ouija boards, usually if you're working with a spirit through that, they are usually not any friend. They are not a spirit in light. They are something dark that's trying to cross over. Mm-hmm. I've had Holly tell me multiple times, and I've even dealt with this a couple times under her, where there have been times somebody's used a Ouija board and it caused havoc and everything, and ultimately it was our job to go and kind of close up that door and make sure that nothing was going to come from it. So that was a issue in the past, and that's why I always say don't use Ouija boards, don't use any of that stuff, because you're not inviting anything good to come from it. So that's all the book talks about of do's and don'ts. There are a few things that I'll just mention here that you and I kind of talked about. One thing that I always have found to be good, and I've been told by multiple different teams, this is a great way, is when you begin an investigation, when you end an investigation, now you can do this either for each and every session, you can do this at the beginning of the entire investigation and at the end, or however you want to do it, it's up to you. But make sure to start and end in prayer. Thank God and, have Him with His love and everything to protect you. Have the prayer go to the spirits that they will be good to you, that they are going to be at peace. The other thing is, excuse me. The other thing is you want to be able to, at the end of an investigation, make sure that it is clear to Spirit that they cannot attach themselves to you, that this is the end. You are closing out this session. It's done, so they need to stay where they're at. Nothing more will happen after that. So those are two big things that I have always done and that I've learned. Start and end in prayer, and then also just make that clear with Spirit that you are in control. Now, let me rephrase that. When it comes to the beginning or ending of an investigation, you are the one that decides that. You are the one who says, okay, you know what? You guys are done. You cannot use my energy anymore. You cannot follow us. Nothing like that. During an investigation, Spirit's totally in control. And what I mean by that is if you're using Phasma Box or something or K2s, that is their choice, whether they want to communicate with you, if they want to tell you something or not. You cannot ever try and demand that they do something. That is a big no-no. So, yeah, really trying to push Spirit to do something you never want to do. If you are going to keep demanding for an answer, that's not going to be good for you because they might not want to talk about that and you could anger them or anything like that. So definitely let them be in control, but otherwise you are in control of making sure that nothing bad happens to you, happens to your team, and you guys can be good both during the investigation and before and after. So some people even will do a few other different things where they might put on some kind of protection for the team, or they might do something to the location, whether that is, doing a prayer to the building or wherever you're at, making sure that that place is safe. Some people will use like sage or other stuff to burn and just kind of put kind of like a protectional force field, whatever you want to say for lack of better terms, around you or around the place. Some people will use incense, different stuff like that. So, are there any other things that you would like to know, do's or don'ts? Jacob. Hi, buddy.
No.
Good morning.
I was just listening. Jeez.
I know you were. He was kind of lying here like he had fallen asleep or something. Any other things that you would like to know if it's a do or don't?
No, I mean, it all makes sense.
Yeah. We've kind of covered the majority of them, and I mean, this is going on close to an hour, so I think
I feel like we'd just be treading ground at that point.
Yeah. So I think that if there are anything else, we'll bring them up in other episodes, whether that's us out on location.
The actual main series.
Yeah, talking about whatever it is, or we will kind of talk about it more as we dive deeper into what it means to be an investigator, what you should do, how you should conduct your investigations, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
So, well, if you got nothing else, I got nothing else. Hopefully we can now get back onto the dusty trail and get back out there to talk about all the urban legends and everything. We focused a lot on paranormal, guys, and we are going to be expanding that. I know that I was talking with Jacob, was it earlier? Yeah, it was earlier today, about possibly talking about the Allegheny and the Appalachian Wendigos and the Skinwalkers and all kinds of... We kind of talked a little bit about that in your episode on the back road there. But focusing a little bit more on that kind of stuff. We will definitely get into Bigfoot, just because it's Pennsylvania and everybody loves the good Bigfoot stories from here. Once spring kind of comes around, we'll definitely get down to Kecksburg for the Kecksburg UFO. Pennsylvania Thunderbird will be another fun thing to talk about. A lot of good stuff.
Yep.
Maybe some other stuff that I've heard about. I don't want to talk about disclosing all of my interesting
tricks.
Yeah, all of my mysteries and legends and stuff like that. But are you sad that you don't get to do your salute again?
A little.
All right. Well, guys, this has been another episode diving deep into what it means to be an investigator. I guess we'll call that kind of like our sub-series.
What it means to be an investigator.
Yeah, what it means to be an investigator. However, we'll come up with an actual name for the next time we do this.
I feel like that works.
What it means to be an investigator?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. Okay, so this has come to the end of Unearthing the Unknown sub-series, What It Means to Be an Investigator. We will see you guys next week for hopefully being back out onto the on location, telling another story and investigating that kind of stuff. If not, we'll see you guys back here for another week of this. But no matter what, stay tuned for next week's episode of Unearthing the Unknown.
Hey there, listeners. I'm Matt Boyer, station manager of WSVC Radio. If you like what you're listening to, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button to be notified with all of our updates. Every day, one of our shows will be releasing a new episode. Stick around and tune in.